Hello, and welcome back to another Pen Talk. Thank you very much for joining me in my exploration of the amazing, incredible, wide world of fountain pens. And you see in front of you a collection of my brass pocket pens. One of these is a new one, which will be the subject of this review. Can you pick it out? Yes, it's this M2 in brass, available on Amazon at a really good price. And when I bought it, there was a $3 discount, so it was an excellent price. Here we have that classic Delight Alpha War and Peace. Here's another version of it in nice shiny brass. Here's one where I took the coating off and also removed the War and Peace. Your M2. Here's one of my recent ones that I reviewed. Very good deal. A different color and look from the rest of these pens. It has that copper look to it. But it's a great, reliable performer. Here's two Lilliput design ones. Different ones. This is like a vintage, aged brass finish. And this one is, just a tarnished finish. And here's probably one of the more unique designs of this brass collection. I have reviews on all these pens. I'm going to try to put together a playlist, and if I do, it'll be linked in the description of the video. So let's explore the M2 in a little bit more detail. Hopefully you're interested. So the pen came in this nice metal box, which we've seen a lot of, and it's covered by this cardboard sleeve, and we see the identification of the pen here. What I find interesting is glossy. Will there be a matte version? Again, we've asked. Titanium would be a great metal to make the pen out of. This just pops open. Most of us have seen this a lot in the past. Pen is held securely. So this makes transit of the pen very secure. Of course, the pen was in a plastic condom to even protect it even more. But this feels really great when you pick it up. Has a nice weight to it, more than the aluminum versions of the M2 does. And the threads are really nicely done. Things spin off. I just love the look at this. And like I mentioned, it posts nicely, posts securely, fits well in the hand. You notice that weight. So for those of you that like a lighter pen, I would stick with the aluminum versions. They're equally nice and good. And that clip is an excellent design. Nice and springy, very, very functional. One of the most functional clips I've ever seen on a pen, especially an interesting low-cost pen like this one. So I would be remiss if I didn't point out the excellent finial at the top of the cap. You have the yin and yang cats, two cats circling around. This is a beautiful little touch. I really like it. Do you? So we're in a darkened room. That engraving on the side of the cap showing the name of the pen and the model. So why does this post so well? They've done a good job at putting a plastic liner inside that cap. There's the threads. If you look down at the top, you'll see it's pretty well sealed up. I don't have an issue with these drying out much. It really fits securely when you post it on the back of the barrel, and that plastic should minimize any scratching from posting, something we don't want to have. So here's my small collection of Hongdian M2 pocket pens. Anodized aluminum, and we got the new one, the brass one, to join the family. Let's take those caps off, and we'll see an interesting way that they've done the nibs also. So posted, it makes for a nice length of a pen, fits well in your hand. But the brass one, the cap posts more deeply onto the barrel, so it ends up being a slightly shorter pen, not by much. The way that clip is integrated is beautiful, really, really good design, and I appreciate them taking this M2 design and giving us a lot of choices of color and material. Maybe a titanium one in the future, an anodized titanium one in the future. Let's ask. So I really appreciate how the color of the nib matches the other trim on the pen. There's not a whole bunch of black nibs around, but Hongdian's done a good job with them. These two are extra fine nibs, which were primarily the only nib you could get with the M2, but the brass one now offers us a medium nib, and of course I got the medium nib, and you can see the extra tipping material on the medium. So this is a classic scene that I use in almost all of my pen videos. So let me explain why I do this. Number one, I want to see the different parts of the pen. Number two, I always flush with some soapy water and clear water to rinse the nib and feed assembly. I like to show that it unscrews from the section. I like to show the converter. One of the things that impresses me about this pen from the day I first saw it when it arrived, it's a handsome looking pen. They have done a good job. Hongdian has taken the M2 design and made it in brass. And it is heavier than the aluminum version, and as we started the video, we'll look at all the other brass pocket pens that I have. I really enjoy the whole collection, and there's at least one in constant daily use. It's my carry-around pen, indestructible. And these pens also tend to write first time every time. They seal up very, very well. So there's a lot going for this design. Included converter, nice O-ring at the section there to seal up against the barrel, and also some O-rings in the nib assembly, and also silicone grease. These threads, the O-ring, not this, because that works well. But we need to find an ink this puppy up and put that medium nib to work. So you may ask how many pocket pens you have. So this is a drawer. I have a couple of these cabinets that have these nice drawers. They're actually for art supplies, but they work well for fountain pens. And there's that classic D-like Alpha design. I have a lot of those. There's some in brass. There's the two M2s. You can see how they are in that family, but Hongdian actually made them actually shorter. And there's three in that classic Lilliput design where the cap unscrews, and there's one in that nice fire steel. Here's some other weird ones. There's that Pucciuccio, and obviously some other pens that I've had in this drawer. I keep the drawers full, and I do enjoy my pocket pens, and the rest of them are inked up. Here's that D-like Alpha that I did a thorough job to remove that lacquer coating, which a lot of people find offensive. When you unscrew the cap, you'll see how the brass oxidizes without doing anything. I didn't really use this pen much after I did my removing of that lacquer. But, you know, the color does change. It develops a patina, like sterling silver might, or some other metals, but that's why they coat it with lacquer, for those people that want the pen to look the same forever and ever. With a new pen, it's always fun to find an ink that I want to put in it. This ink called out to me. I had it for a while. It's been in a few pens, but I decided it needed to go into another pen. And it's a nice, deep, rich red. Kind of looks like a blood red, but I like the way it looks on paper, which is the important part. And the flow in that Hongdian with this ink is excellent. So when I first inked up the pen and put nib to paper, I said, wow. This is my second incredible medium nib in a row in pens that I've been reviewing. Flow is phenomenal. It's really a wet writer. But if you don't like a wet medium, then go for the extra fine or fine nibs, which are drier and put down less ink. But, I have enough of those, so to me this medium nib gives me a nice variation in a pocket pen, and I like this Diamine Cherry Sunburst ink, but, this just glides across the paper. This Fabriano paper has a little bit of texture to it, so it will amplify any of the feedback sounds that you might get from writing, and there's very little with this nib. So Hongdian has done a great job again, and if you look at their posting on Amazon, where the only place I found this pen sold, you'll see they mention that they test their nibs. Isn't that great? This is an example of that. So we've reached the end of the video review of this excellent Hongdian Brass M2. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I enjoyed making the video. That's why I do this. Making the video increases my appreciation of the pen. I do my research. Hopefully I present to you a lot of information. And that to me is what I like to do with videos, provide information. Very little editorial comment. You don't see my face because it's a video about pens. And I know that limits my viewership because people want to do some social interaction in addition to doing pens, but I show you bird videos, and I think that is as entertaining as I would be. But that's just my opinion. I'm sticking with it, and since I'm the one making the video, I decide what I'm going to show and not show. And hopefully you can enjoy watching, because that's the whole fun part. And I've said many, many times, that's, to me, is the focus of life, is having fun, enjoying what you do. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Or some people just could make a video about all the stuff that they don't like, and that video gets a lot of views because people think my life is not as bad because the other people make these bad videos. I digress, and I was editorial, which I said I didn't want to do. But it's now time for the closing comments. I hope this video finds everyone safe, healthy, and happy. Enjoying your pens. Enjoying old pens, new pens. I get a rush from a new pen. Maybe most of you do also. But, you run out of storage space. You realize that I don't want to have more than 5 pens inked up. Whatever the reasons are, enjoy what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Another of my mantras of life. So with that, we've reached the end. Hopefully you've not bored you too much. We will close off with some additional bird videos for your entertainment. So thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Some more pens coming. Yes, I ordered from Timo again.